Hi guys, and welcome back for another retro refurb. We're going to start off with some pony roasting. You can see that her cutie mark is gone. She's got some orange stuff in there. I mean, she is really clean, relatively, but I guess she's also missing some hair plugs in her forelock. So when I originally got her, I thought, oh, I wasn't going to have to do much to her because she looked pretty good. But then I realized, I am going to have to paint her. I'm going to take the head off for these couple of hair plugs. I struggled with this for way longer than it shows. Off camera, it probably took an hour to get her head off. Here I am just starting to condition her hair, and I'm just using Suave because I was told that the cheaper, the better. It has more silicone in it, is what I've heard, so we're going to try it. This is the first time I have done any conditioning to pony hair, so we're going to give it a shot. Just working it in with my hands, using a comb to comb it through. And I will say it does help. Started looking at other things to do as well because it just didn't get it exactly how I wanted it. It helped, but I don't know. You can see later I actually do some more conditioning because I'm not quite satisfied. So then I move to removing the tail, because I like to, if I've gone to the fact where I'm going to take off the head, I like to make sure that I'm going to replace that washer. You'll often find that the washer and the metal clasp holding the hair together is rusted, and it caused rust to come down into the hairs. So I'm working on my technique for this. I use 2 pairs of pliers. I grab with a thicker pair, and I pry with a thinner pair. You don't have to get it completely open because you can pull the individual hairs out, but I like to get it completely open. But it can be a struggle. Getting the last few out when you haven't got it completely open is the toughest part, but if you just work at it, you should be able to do it. And once I've freed the hairs from their metal prison, then I must jail them again, but this time I'm going to do it with a zip tie. Of course, zip ties are made out of plastic, so they're not going to rust. The amount of times that you might want to use water on the tail for hair play or cleaning or what have you, it's just good to have something other than metal keeping it together. Like I said earlier, I did condition it again. I thought, you know what, this could use a little bit more work, and now that I have it in its own little zip tie, I can just focus on it by itself. The mane really didn't need any conditioning. It looked in really good condition. It was just a little bit of fray on the tail. So I gave it a second condition. And I did have some shedding. That's normal. More than you ever want to have. You know, you don't want to lose hair, but it happened, and I got over it. I'm not bitter. So then we get to move on to my most favorite part, and that is the rerouting. Now, thankfully, I didn't get too frustrated today when I did this because there were only a few plugs that needed to be replaced. So even though it took longer than I wanted it to take, because it is, again, my most dearest, favorite part of doing this, I didn't get too frustrated. So once I had the plugs in, I just kind of lined them up with the hairs that were next to them to trim them off so that they were the same length. I think the color match was pretty good, and it's going to work out well. So all that's left to do really is to just get the good old glue out and make sure that those plugs don't come back out and undo all that work that you just did. And then here is actually my favorite part, and that is the repainting of the cutie marks. I had used some acetone to get that orange schmutz out of there, and it wasn't a big deal to do, so I didn't even have that on the video. But here I am starting to repaint. And I do end up mixing a lot. I mix my top coat with my paints when I'm doing the glitter cutie marks, because that glitter is so intense in that top coat. I really want it in there, as well as I might also put a top coat on afterwards. Now, interestingly enough, both cutie marks aren't necessarily the same on both sides. Like, they're very similar, but in the case of Moonstone, the circles weren't all in the same place. So I guess you don't really notice because you could never really look at them at the same time, but it's just an interesting fact I noticed. I thought when I flipped it over it was going to be the exact same thing again, and it was similar, but it wasn't exactly the same. I was just kind of surprised. But I'm actually using a metallic blue here with that top coat mixed in for added shimmer and shine. And as you can notice, I didn't even mention, I usually do braid the tail just to keep the tail out of the way while I'm painting these, because obviously you don't want hair to get stuck in paint. That's never a good option. You want to avoid that at all costs. So Moonstone ended up having a great payoff. Her cutie marks are shining, her hair is shimmery and full. And I hope you guys had a fun time watching today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.